verbatim what you said. You said, I couldn't care less about rates. The only thing that matters is AI and Nvidia.
I don't remember that, but that's nice.
What was going on? How did you see it?
So the Nvidia story is quite interesting, and it's a perfect example of the process we spoke about earlier, where I rely on other people. So I have some young superstars in my firm, and they had a network, and they started really talking about AI. This was in early to mid 22. And then I started noticing that the kids at Stanford were shifting from crypto, 50-50 crypto and 50-50 AI, to more going to AI. And that's something we've always looked at in venture, is where the kids are going. When we bought Palantir in 08, 09, it was because that was the cool company back then that all the kids wanted to go to. So my partner had in people from his AI network they're in Palo Alto. They came in and explained AI. Most of it went over my head, but I knew that this was really big.
Why did you feel it was really big? It could have been a fad. You didn't feel this way for other fads.
Because I had total trust in my partner, and I thought I was grasping the enormity. It turns out I wasn't grasping the enormity because I didn't know about large language models, but I knew about all the other conventional stuff that was going on in AI. So I said to my partner, what should I buy? He said, Nvidia. That's the way to play AI. So just on this, about as much as you just heard, I bought a not big position in Nvidia, but enough to get hurt on or to make some money on. And then about 2 weeks later, ChatGPT happened, which had not mentioned in our conversation. Well, even I understood, okay, the enormity of what that meant when I saw even the rudimentary things it was doing back then. So then I doubled the position. And then one of the great services you and Morgan Stanley provide are these macro calls. And all the macro guys, including myself, luckily I hadn't talked yet, were espousing their views on the world, which are probably worth a nickel and a cup of coffee. And an analyst there who was from the tech world said, you guys are in the trees and you're missing the forest. There's something much bigger than anything you're talking about, even for macro. And he went on to amplify everything I had heard 3 weeks ago or 4 weeks ago about AI. But this time I had ChatGPT between that conversation and him. So then I doubled my position again. And literally, I don't think I knew how to spell NVIDIA 3 months before. And when the stock took off, I knew through years of experience, when you have massive, massive change, investors just can't make themselves keep up with it. And it was funny because the person who knew 10 times more than anybody at the table and probably 50 times more than me about AI, he sold his NVIDIA shortly thereafter. But I knew that this stock would go up for at least 2 or 3 years and go up a lot. And I said publicly in an interview about 5 months later, I cannot possibly see myself selling NVIDIA over the next 2 or 3 years, because it had already gone from like 150 to 390, and this person couldn't believe I still owned it. And I basically said, not only do I own it, the way these things evolve, this stock can't not go up for at least 3 years. So then the stock goes to 800. And I violated everything I said in the interview. I couldn't stand success. It had gone from 150 to 800. I was long-term in it. I couldn't deal with it. And I sold it. And then it was 1,400 like 5 weeks later, and I was sick. But it's amazing how little I knew about NVIDIA. I couldn't even tell you what the earnings were.
It's a sign of confidence, and it's because you're Stan Druckenmiller, that you can be so blatantly honest about the way you think about these things. And I think it's very encouraging to portfolio managers that are coming up in the business, and they often feel like they need to be intellectually very much on their game constantly. What I'm getting from this, the ability to filter, to manage instead of being wedded to a spreadsheet, is really unique and quite helpful. You said something that you violated what you had said and sold at 800. Would you have done that 20 years ago? Is this a sign of a more